Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the Soviet Tier 8 Premium Heavy Tank, the Gorynych KV-5. Now this is again one of the Halloween tanks that you can earn in the Halloween Earn-Up, the Monster Hunter Earn-Up? Something like that anyway. You can earn this tank. This is a proper old school tank because this is one of the oldest tanks in the game, the KV-5, as a premium tank. It's got preferential matchmaking, so this is another option for the preferential matchmakers that you could pick. It's got a gun that's on the T150, but on the Gorynych, and slightly changed because it used to be 169 pen, but it's now 175, which means that it can be a right pain to play when you are against tier 9s, because there's a fair few that just you won't really pen that easily. But you do have preferential matchmaking, so there's a lot of times that you end up being top tier at tier 8, because preferential matchmaking tanks seem to have that sort of matchmaking where they don't see tier 9s all that often. A lot of the time they get shoved in at top tier, which is always a nice thing. So if you do get sick of the matchmaking, that's why it's always nice to have these preferential matchmaking tanks, even if they aren't the best sometimes, just so that if you're getting slapped about at tier 8, you can decide, oh, you know what, I'm just going to take my preferential matchmaking tier 8 heavy and go on a rampage and have a little bit of a laugh and know that I'm not going to see tier 10s at tier 8. And you can have that kind of fun, right? You can do all that. But on the whole, the KV-5 is a pretty nice tank. It's hilarious because it rams. It rams very well. It's a very heavy tank, the KV-5, and if you're going downhill especially, you can get up to that 40 km/h top speed. It can be hilarious with how much damage you can do in a ram. The 107mm gun that you've got, which is the same gun that's on the T150, I should say, has 175 pen on its standard AP. It was recently buffed up to that. And then 217, I believe, or 219, sorry, on the premium APCR, which 219 is enough to go through most of what you're going to face as a preferential tier 8, but it's just when you're going to get some of those tier 9 heavies that it really struggles. It really does. But the armour on the KV-5 is absolutely fantastic. If you're going against tanks that have about 260, 270 pen, then your armour doesn't hold up anywhere near as well. But it's still absolutely solid and will bounce you a lot of damage. The one thing that this tank does have that you have to bear in mind is that you do have a droid on the front of the tank, which is an easy pen for a lot of tanks, but it's rounded. So if you keep yourself moving, keep yourself wiggling when you come in against people, and make it as hard as possible for people to hit it, you will still ricochet shots off of that droid. It's all about what you... This is one of those tanks you have to be very clever with your armour. You have to make sure you're always keeping it moving. Angle as much as possible if you can. And so, to be honest, this is one of those weird tanks where it can feel like when you're going against them, it feels like you're extremely over-angling the tank, but actually, the armour doesn't care and will actually bounce the shots quite a lot. If you're coming on to people, try and always make it... Oh, that was a really nice blind shot, by the way. Always try and make it so that you're driving at them at an angle, not straight on, so it's as hard as possible for them to pen you, because as well as that, the side armour on this tank is very difficult to penetrate, which means that you can side scrape like an absolute boss. This is one of those tanks that is very good at reverse side scraping, and you will bounce an absolute butt ton off of your butt. Well, off of your side armour where the butt, near the butt anyway. But yeah, it's very good. And yeah, the gun handling is not too bad either. On the whole, the Gorynych is not... The KV-5 is a pretty fun tier 8 preferential heavy tank. The only thing that you have to struggle with the Gorynych is the penetration, and that is it, really. The rest of it's pretty nice for what you get. And you can get it for free in the Monster Mash Halloween Monster Hunter Earn-Up. I'm just going to call it all of it, because why not? In the Monster Hunter Earn-Up, you can earn it for free, but a lot of people probably already have it at this point, because it is, like I say, it's one of the first ones that you could actually get from these Monster Hunter Earn-Ups. So a lot of people already own it, or they've given it away in different store for it. It's been in, like, you know, war chests or key cards or whatever you want to call them, that sort of thing. So yeah, what do I run in terms of a crew on the KV-5? Well, I run a fairly standard tier 8 heavy tank, well, fairly standard heavy tank crew, really, for when I want to try and get the mobility a little bit better, but make everything about the tank in terms of the gun better. And that is, I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Trap Mechanics, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Run and Gun, Off-Road Driving. Off-Road Driving, because this tank can be good at ramming, so I do want to help it as much as humanly possible to get up to that top speed of 40 kilometers an hour, because, you know, the terrain resistances aren't too bad. It's very bad on, I think it's firm at 2.86, or it's soft, one of the two. the ground resistance on that is very, very bad, and I just want to help it get up to that 40km/h top speed if I can, and then you want to help the gun handling out as much as possible because it is a heavy tank, and having that gun be nice is what you want to do, because you do have 0.4 accuracy, which is very Soviet, and yeah, I just want to make it so I can actually hit things, which is pretty decent, and with 2.3 aim time as well, it just helps it get that little bit better, and then all the other perks, because that's what you take. Because that's the other thing that this tank has. It has 7 degrees of gun depression, which, as you've already seen in this game, is pretty handy for being on a ridge. Again, it's fairly un-Soviet-like, really, having that 7 degrees of gun depression. But it helps you use positions on ridge lines like this, which a fair few that have 5 degrees of gun depression wouldn't be able to use. And as you've seen with this game on Grim Graveyard, we use the bowl area with our 7 degrees of gun depression to get out a little bit of damage, but also get a fair bit of assistance. And we've also blocked a lot off of our turret, and just look how many dings there are on that turret. We've blocked a lot. We finished with the victory, 3 kills, 2.9k damage, 3.1k assistance, 6.3k blocked. The patrol duty for a heavy tank, scout heavy tank, the steel wall for that blocks, and the first class. Yeah, we are scout heavy tank with that patrol duty for 3.1k spotting. That's how we do it. We don't cower at the back because we've got Grim Graveyard. We sit at the front, spot all the tanks for our team. We are the light tank. And we benefited with a fair bit of assistance there. And we're on to the second replay, and we are on this map, which is Moravanka. We're on Moravanka. Yes, it's Moravanka, just so that you know which map it is. And we are going to attack the heavy tank flank along the 2 line. We're going to push up to the position at E2, and then use that little ridge line in front of us to hopefully try our best to, well, we can keep pulling forward, using it to sort of only show our turret, put the shots into people, and pull back behind it. There's a light tank that's pushed aggressively into the middle area along the EF line, which, this is one of those things, when you have to assess it really when you get to the position at E2, whether you stick or you twist. And as you can see, this Tiger 2 is going in. The light tank is facing 2 other light tanks. They don't seem to have anything else that's really pushed up aggressively yet. So let's go in. We're twisting. We're going in on these light tanks. We get a nice shot into the T92 there. And I want to get rid of the Tier 8 light tank if I can, because that's the threat. He has the sort of penetration that he could actually go through me, whereas the 1375 might struggle. Unfortunately, we only did track damage to that T92. We go for the shot into the 1375, but we fail. The Super Sherman penned us on the move. That lucky devil. We do shut down the T92. I'm keeping myself as angled as possible into this M51 Super Sherman, so it's difficult for him to pen us. We go for the little ram, and as you can see, we did 100 damage there for basically 10 kilometers an hour. That's what his tank does. And you can see, 200 pen. He is really struggling to get the shell into us, and we shut down that HMH M51 Super Sherman. Now we've got T32 in front of us. What even was that? What were we doing? Why did we even take that shot? That was silly. We've loaded the APCR so that we can go through the side of the IS-3 and, well, just in case he angles up. And we are now still getting shots through the side of that IS-3. He was actually pretty stopped by the look of his turret. We go for the kill shot, and we shut down the IS-3. Now we're going in after the T29 and the T32 that's in front of us. And once again, I'm making sure that I'm not just straight on. I've got this side angle here, because this is the kind of angling where I look like I'm overexposing my side armor, but I'm not. It's actually more difficult for them to pen me in my side like this, which is why we're doing it. We go for the lower plate of the T32 there with the AP, but 175 AP is not enough to go through that guy's lower plate. So we load the premium round. Now there's a ball sig driving round. He decided not to go for me. We track the ball sig in place because you always want to try and go for that drive wheel if you can. And unfortunately, he ended up repairing, and we were trying to go for the HE pen, but it just didn't get a chance to do it. We've reloaded the AP again because I don't need the AP for the T20. Or should I say, I don't really need the APCR too much for the T29, but the T32 ends up penning me, and I'm not happy about this T32 penetrating me. I want to get rid of the T32, and with my standard AP, it is an absolute pain to get rid of this guy. But he drives out sideways on, and we shut down the T32. We're up to 4,000 damage with 3.7k blocked now. Go for the cupola there of the P44 Pantera. We get the shot through that Italian medium tank. Just waiting to see if we can get another shot into this T29, because it'd be nice to get rid of him. Put him down to a one-shot, which is glorious. But we are being very, very careful of that Pantera, because he was firing premium, which means he's going to find it a little bit easier to pen me than the T29 does. But he does drive around. We try and go for the shot into the turret there. but it just doesn't go in. But we're nearly reloaded already, because this tank does reload pretty quickly, so we get another shot into the Pantera's turret. He's now down to a one-shot thanks to the AT-15 that's next to me. We go for the machine gun port on the T-29, and we shut down that tier 7 heavy tank. Now we've got the Dragon in front of us. We go for the shot into the side of his turret. We're up to 5.5k damage with a flat 4,000 block. That's quite satisfying there. The Dragon's in a position where we can actually get a shot into his turret, but unfortunately the shot just whiffs. Now he's aiming for my droid, which he misses. Like I say, you want to keep moving. We don't want to just sit still. If I'd sat still there, it would have made it very, very easy for him to pen me. We kept moving. It made it very difficult for him to actually aim at that droid, and he ricocheted off of my turret front. You don't want to sit still. Do not sit still. I'm going to slap that into you all. Do not sit still. There we go. Always keep wiggling, because that is the key to the KV-5's armour. If you sit still, you make that weak spot, and the weak spot isn't small by any stretch of the imagination. The weak spot in that droid is massive. So if you stop, you make that exceptionally easy for people to pen it. Keep wiggling, keep moving, even if it's like slight adjustments. Keep moving and keep wiggling, and that way it'll make it very difficult for them to pen it. So we get a nice shot through the Skoda T-56's lower plate. He gets respotted. We go for the shot through the side of the drive wheel. It tracks him in place, damages Ammo rack, and we're just waiting for our reload to hopefully shut this guy down, which we do. We get our 7th kill of the game, 6.5k damage. There's only 2 tanks left, the Inferno on our left and the light tank, and at this point I'm going, ooh. Ooh, Radley Walters, please, please give me my 8th kill. I want my 8th kill in this game. That would be very, very nice. This TD shoots some bounces off the Inferno, so I was thinking, oh, maybe I'm going to get a shot into him. But unfortunately, the Inferno gets shut down by the AT-15. Now, the light tank that's left is a setter, and it's just shut down the Crash Panther. I'm thinking, was Crash Panther in the field? Because I didn't quite catch where the Crash Panther was, and I thought I saw him blow up in the Magic Forest. So I was kind of heading back that way, and I thought, well, maybe he's in along the A-line. But no, he's at C1. He's in the distance over there, and unfortunately, with a medium tank and a TD over there, the likelihood is we're not going to get anywhere near it, which is a very, very sad time. And we end up finishing that game with a really, really great total for the KV-5. We finished with 6,500 damage, the 4.6k blocked, 7 kills, 2.5, nearly 2.6k base XP, the Ace Tank of the Devastator, Top Gun, High Caliber, the Steel Wall, and yeah, nearly 2.6k base XP. A really, really nice game for the Gorynych KV-5. Again, it's another solid choice from this Monster Hunter Urnop. It's a really, really fun tank to play. It's proper old school tank, but it still is capable these days. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
A great success!